Define your niche. Figure out who your audience is. Understand their problems and needs. These are some of the things that we hear when it comes to content creation, and that's some of the advice that people give to creators. But if I asked you to define exactly what that is, would you be able to do that? Or if I asked you what are the tactical steps you would take to execute on that, would you be able to do it? I'm Daesang, and it's been a very interesting and exciting couple of days for me, especially because a couple of my videos have been doing really well and gaining a lot of traction. I've been getting a lot of engagement, a lot of feedback from my now growing audience here as a small creator on YouTube. One of the comments that I got was that I'm doing something right and I'm being strategic. And this really stuck with me. It's been on my mind and I've been reflecting on it. So I wanted to make this video to reflect a little bit on my process and also share some thoughts on what I think is working and what's leading to some of the successes that I'm seeing with these videos. Let's start with this idea of finding your niche and understanding what your audience's problems and challenges are. I absolutely agree with this. But I think when you share that advice, there are some nuances to it that should also be explained. Especially when you're a new creator, you don't necessarily have all this information at your disposal. So let's say you're starting, you have an idea of the niche you want to target as you're creating content on YouTube. My challenge with that is coming in, having an idea does not necessarily mean that this is what your audience is going to want. Having that idea means you think it's a great idea. However, if you haven't validated it, if you haven't confirmed, then you really have no proof. You have nothing to verify and validate that this is going to work. So where I think the focus should be, yes, focus on understanding your niche, focus on understanding the problems of your audience and the specific needs that they have and the challenges that they have and the goals and desires that they have, but validate that information. So come in with your perspective, but once you get on the platform, find a way to create what we usually call in product management a feedback loop. In a feedback loop, you're constantly getting feedback from your audience or your customer, you're getting information, you're analyzing that information, you're taking away the insights from it. And with those insights, you're using it to make decisions that can help you with your next steps. And I think that's the piece that's very relevant for small creators on YouTube. Once you get to the platform, you want to figure out an engine that can continue to give you ideas that you can continue to build on and make strong content that is compelling and relevant and is exactly what your audience needs. The first place where I think you can start with this is diving into and looking at your analytics. And there are two different ways that you can assess your analytics. There's the quantitative side and then there's the qualitative side. So the quantitative is really about the numbers. So you post a video, you're looking at your analytics to see how it's performing. Is it getting a lot of views? Is it getting a lot of likes? What is the engagement on that piece of content? So those are numbers and hard metrics. Those sit on your quantitative side. On the qualitative side, these are more subjective, but they're also extremely informative. So this can be where your audience is commenting on your video, leaving feedback. And that's something that's really important to dive into because it's an opportunity there to ask them questions, to engage with them. You can see the words that they're using. They will literally tell you how it's resonating with them, why it's helpful. And so that is all very crucial and helpful information that you can bring back into your process. You can bring back into your feedback loop. As you're looking at all that data, you can look at the different themes that you're seeing. What are the common words? Are you seeing similar challenges that people have across different comments? So that's a great place to start. The data is already there once you have content being created, and then YouTube already has the analytics built. So it's just a matter of you taking the time to go through and engaging with folks, asking deeper questions and seeing what you're hearing and drawing some insights from all that information. Another suggestion is to get very direct and intentional feedback from your audience. In the prior example, when they're providing feedback as part of the comments, that's them writing what is on their mind and what they're thinking about. But if there are specific questions that you're interested in understanding, if there are some ideas that you have and you want to validate and see if that might be interesting to them, it's important that you have a way to reach out and get that information. One could be asking. You can directly ask specific questions that you have, specific ideas that you have, and start validating and vetting those ideas. Another way is to use the polling function. So under the community tab, there's an option to create a poll. You can create a poll, ask your audience different questions that you have, a topic that you may be interested in posting about. You think it's interesting, but the question is, do they think it's interesting? Would they come back and watch that video? So you can ask them. You can give them a couple of different ideas to choose from. Another option is just a different type of survey. So maybe you have 5 or 6 questions that is multiple choice, or they can answer free form and type in their responses. That's another way that you can get direct feedback from them. The benefit of this is that you're in control in terms of what you're asking, as opposed to just getting any wide range of feedback that's coming your way. And it may not necessarily address some of the immediate questions that you have about your content and the next steps you want to take. These examples are happening right within your world on YouTube. And so you have control over it. You can tailor and gauge how it's going, and you can very much orchestrate what that looks like. The examples I share, they're happening in the comments, they're happening on the channel. For example, if you post something and you have it available to your community, you post a poll, all these things are happening within your immediate world on YouTube. But you can also leverage the platform to help you gain some of these additional insights. So if we think about community, I define community not just as your immediate audience, but also your peers who are also creating content. So if you think about your YouTube community and see what else is going on, what else are people talking about, that goes beyond your immediate channel, that goes beyond your content. And now you're engaging with other content creators in their comments and seeing what their audience is saying there. What questions are they asking? That's an opportunity for you to get in the comments and ask them questions or provide some suggestions. If you have a video that's relevant, maybe you share it with them. Essentially, you can step out of your own world here on YouTube and still have the ability to gain information that will be helpful for your feedback loop once you have that in place. One more option that you have is to get and gather information, except this time it's beyond YouTube. It's beyond the platform. You can go out to read industry news that may be relevant to your target audience. You can read through different forums, for example, Reddit, Quora. There are lots of different places to see what conversations are happening, what people are saying, what are they interested in, what are some of their fears, what are their desires, and bring that back into your process. The one downside to this, though, is obviously it is away from the platform. It is away from your immediate content. It is farther removed from your YouTube audience because those folks may not necessarily be the ones who are in those conversations on the different forums on Reddit or some of these other places. So take that with a grain of salt. I think it's helpful to just broadly understand what is happening with conversations. It's good to understand what's happening in the broader marketplace because now you can bring in industry trends, which are things that also influence people's behaviors. So your audience's behavior may change over time just because of what's happening in the macro economy. It may not necessarily be exactly what your 100 or 200 subscribers on YouTube are looking for today. I would say have a balance, be aware, stay close to the market, keep a pulse on the market, but to really understand what your audience needs, you can get that information best on the platform. So bringing it back to the comment I mentioned that I received that inspired me to create this video. My process, maybe it's a little bit of luck, but it's also me putting some of these tactics to practice myself. As the comment suggested, I will agree that I've been strategic about it and thinking and looking at the data and looking at the audience feedback that I'm getting to figure out the next video. For example, one of the videos that went viral, I used that video to help me inform the next video that I created. I looked at the comments, I saw what people were interested in. I noticed that a lot of the folks who are engaging with my content are small YouTubers. They're also new to the platform. They've probably been on for a month, a week, and they're also looking to grow similarly and get some of the traction that I've been experiencing myself. And so I wanted to package up my process then with the things that I thought would be helpful for them and create that next video. So I didn't start with 10 different ideas for videos that I wanted to create. Instead, I waited and I used the data from that video that did well to help me figure out the next one. And now that video is also picking up and has been having a lot of engagement. So I hope this has been helpful for you to have some tactical ways to be mindful and to be thoughtful with your own content and to help you get closer to your audience, figuring out exactly what it is that they need so you can create content that will bring them back, that will keep them engaged, and that will keep them excited and add value. I would love to hear from you. What tactics and strategies are you using? Let me know in the comments. If anything in this video resonated with you or you plan to implement it, also let me know. And if you've tried some of these things after a while and they're working or not working, also come back. I would love to hear how everything is going. So thank you for watching. I wish you the best of luck in your journey on YouTube. Let's continue to grow together.